Thank you for tuning in to Soul Water Saturday, where your soul never thirsts. My name is Beauty in Bars. Hello to everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone enjoyed their week. I hope everyone had a powerful, beautiful, wonderful, exciting, phenomenal, and prosperous week. But hello for another edition. Welcome back to all my viewers, and I am excited to speak to you all today. Beauty and Bars has been having some things going on. As you guys know, I was supposed to go to an open mic, which did not end up happening. However, I will be attending another one. I spoke to one of the people that is over it, and I am going to be a calibration poet, and I may be a part of the poetry slam, possibly, seeing how things work out with that. But I am going to be a calibration poet for this open mic that's coming up. So when I do get the footage, y'all will be seeing it in another video. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. I will be jumping straight into the topic for this week. So for this week, I am going to be speaking about postpartum depression versus baby blues. I have been through both of them, and I know there are a lot of women after they have babies that go through each one. Some women don't. I've been through situations where I did not go through neither. I have 5 children, and I've been in pregnancies where I didn't experience neither one, but I do have 5, so I have experienced each one as well. So I wanted to touch on that more because I know a lot of women have gone through it, and I want to know more about what helped you out of those dark moments and what were the experiences that you faced when you did go through them. So first, I will touch on baby blues. If you guys don't know, and for those of you that do know, I just had a baby. He's only 2 months old. After I had him, I went through baby blues very briefly. I have gone through it longer in previous pregnancies, but this time it was very brief. But I would have moments where I would just break out crying. I would listen to certain songs, and it didn't even have to be a sad song. It could be a absolutely joyful song, and I'm listening to it and I would just break out crying because maybe something in it reminded me of something else or whatever happened, but I would break out crying. And if you are married or you have a spouse or a boyfriend or whatever, sometimes they don't understand what you're going through. So I would be crying. My husband would be looking at me like, what is her problem? I don't know what's wrong with her. Why are you crying? Why are you sad? And I would try to explain to him that after you have a baby, it's like you give your baby everything inside of you. I'll say spiritually, you give that baby everything within you, and then you feel empty, like you have this feeling of emptiness. So you need to be filled up again spiritually. So I went through this point where I felt empty. I felt lost. Like I didn't feel like me anymore. I'm a strong woman, as in knowing who I am, but I didn't feel like me anymore. I felt lost. So when you go through that, you have to literally build yourself back up. You have to seek out who you are again. And I was crying a lot. I was overwhelmed because I have other children I have to care for too. So imagine being in my shoes, having a baby, a newborn baby, then also having an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old. And everybody's dependent on me because, of course, dad has to go back to work. So let's just say the first day that I was alone with the children was the second day, actually, of me being home, because the first day that I was home, my husband was at home with me, and it was better because I had him there. But then the second day that I was home from having a baby, I was alone with the boys, and it was so overwhelming. I think I cried a few times. I would just go in a room because the boys didn't understand. I got this newborn, It's already overwhelming when you leave the hospital to begin with. For me, And I know other women go through this, so I'm going to talk to you guys because I know you guys can relate. So for me, the most overwhelming thing is taking that baby home and being responsible for another life. I don't know why, but that is the most overwhelming thing ever, to take that little baby home and to be responsible for a whole nother life. So I took the baby home and I was already overwhelmed because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have another life that I'm responsible for. I already have 4 other children. So then, second day, I'm home with the boys and I have to care for each of them because they all need me and they're all tugging on me and they all want to see the baby and they don't understand that this is a newborn. He doesn't know how to play yet. You can't just touch him, and because your hands are dirty and it's not sanitary, you can't just be in his face. And they don't understand all that because they're young. So I'm dealing with all of this on top of I'm dealing with them mom needing me when I am trying to get myself together because I just had a baby. I'm not healed. My mind is all over the place. I'm overwhelmed. I can't breathe. Feel like I'm having a panic attack. And all I could do was just go in the room, shut the door, and cry and know at the end of the day I was okay. That God had me. I was okay. But I still have to be mom, no matter if I just had a baby or not, because I'm still responsible for all of these humans. So I did have a slight case of baby blues. I didn't really want anybody holding my baby. My birthday was shortly after I had the baby because I had my son November 12th and then my birthday is December 3rd. So he spent the night with his godmommy, and as much as I didn't want to think about him, I still did because I was having a good time with my husband. So, we got a hotel and we had a good time, and I was still thinking about my baby because I was going through baby blues and that attachment that you have when you just have a baby. Yeah, that was me. So baby blues is like a milder form of postpartum depression. It's not as bad. You get over it. It doesn't last as long. It's a place of emptiness. It's a place of feeling overwhelmed. It's a place of, going through that hurt, that minor anxiety, but it's a place that's easier to climb out of. The way that I climbed out of it was I had to take time for myself. I had to make sure that I took those moments to breathe. I had to make sure that I was putting me first. And I don't do that very often, I'm not going to lie, because I have all of my kids and my husband and so much to focus on that I forget about me a lot. But if you don't put you first and you don't love you first, you can't be there for anybody else. You cannot show up for anybody else because you're not even showing up for you. So God was my best friend. I'm not going to lie. That is the only way I got through it. I would talk to God under my breath. I would say my prayers and I still do this, while I'm doing my feedings with the baby, I'm praying. Because that God is the only way that I could get through anything of being a mother, of being a wife. God is the only way I could show love because God is love. And if I'm not connected with the source, then I'm not love. Like, I'm crap. So I literally had to pray my way through. I had to talk to God. I had to step away. I had to cry a little bit. I had to ask the Lord to heal me and make me whole again. And that is how I got through baby blues. But like I told you, the way to differentiate between baby blues and postpartum depression, baby blues is very mild. It's more of a feeling of emptiness, of being overwhelmed, slight anxiety, but it goes away with time. So now I will tell you guys about postpartum depression and my experience with it. I went through postpartum depression after I had my son, Christian. We were staying in this apartment, and it was a 2-story apartment. And I just remember a lot of my poems that I wrote for my first book, Heaven Soundtracks. Well, both of my books, because it was going to be an extremely long poetry book, and it was called Heaven Soundtrack, Hell's Lyrics. Now, Heaven Soundtrack and Hell's Lyrics used to be one book. I divided it because I had so many poems. So a lot of the poems that I wrote for Heaven Soundtrack and Hell's Lyrics came from this time that I was going through. Now, I did add some dramatics to some of them, so I did not go through everything that I wrote, but a lot of the feelings that I felt at that time came from what I was experiencing. With postpartum depression, I had a lot of negative thoughts. And like I said, when you just have a baby, you are empty. That's how you feel. You just feel empty. It's like the baby takes everything from you. And you're left with nothing. You feel like nothing. So it was easy for the enemy to get in my mind because I was empty. Okay. So I was having a lot of negative thoughts, stupid thoughts, thoughts that I would never act on, but they would come to mind. Like, you have thoughts of harming the baby. You have thoughts of, giving a baby away or leaving a baby somewhere. You have thoughts of, why do I even have this baby? I'm not even capable or mentally right to be raising this baby. You have thoughts of, I just want to leave the baby, leave the kids, leave everybody, and just leave. Like, I just want to drive away and go somewhere, and I don't even want to talk to anybody. I'm just going to disappear. Like, you have thoughts like that. So I was going through that. I'm not really a person that talks about my feelings a lot. So a lot of the time I was going through it secretly, and I was just hiding all of my feelings in the inside. I did not even share them. And my main release is poetry. So nobody really knew what I was going through because I was writing it in my poems. And then when I wrote the first book, when the first book came out, which is Heaven Soundtracks, people read the poems and were like, "You're going through this?" And I'm like, kind of, but I just dramatized a lot of it. I was going through some of the thoughts though. So I was going through them secretly, and I was writing about it in my poems. But I would cry a lot. My husband didn't understand. Back then, honestly, we were going through issues with communication. We didn't know how to communicate well. So I didn't really know how to talk to him about the things that I was experiencing. But I just remember one day he was like, "Where's my wife? I want my wife back. And I don't know this person. Like, I don't know who you are." And it sucks to be going through that and to be depressed, and your spouse tells you that they don't know who you are. But then honestly, I was telling myself, I don't know who I am either. Shoot, I don't even know who this is. I don't know. Like, and I kind of felt like, will I even find me again? Will I ever know who I am again? Will I ever feel like me again? Because it's just so overwhelming, and it's like such a dark place. And I would have times where I would talk to myself and I would say, nobody knows what I'm going through. Nobody knows the thoughts that I'm having. Some days I don't even want to be here anymore. And I remember I did sort of go through it after I had my son Azariah, because I remember telling my husband, I don't care if I'm not here anymore. Not saying that I was going to take myself out, because I never had thoughts to actually take myself out, like kill myself. But it was just not caring whether I lived or not. And I did go through a moment where I didn't care, because I felt like nobody cared, that my children didn't appreciate me, and nobody understood that I was drowning. And that's what it feels like when you go through postpartum. And I felt like I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't want anybody to judge me or feel like I was mentally unwell or unstable, or that I was going to harm my children or, do something to somebody or myself. I didn't want anybody to judge me or feel like that. I just wanted somebody to talk to. And sometimes it just gets lonely and you really don't have anybody to go to. And that's why I'm thankful that I have a relationship with God, and that I am a poet, and that I was able to jot down those feelings and get that sense of release and relief from just telling my story through my poetry, because it was therapy for me. Writing my poetry, it was therapy for me. Like, that's why I was able to release and start to get me back again. And yeah, some of the poems were really depressing because I remember one poem I wrote where I was talking about how you lay next to somebody and it's like you feel like they're a stranger. You feel like you don't know them. And I was experiencing that. My husband really didn't know because I wasn't sharing my feelings because I was going through postpartum. And I was laying next to him and I felt like I was laying next to a stranger, and he read that. He was like, dang, that's how you feel? And I'm like, hey, that's how I was feeling because, I was going through a lot mentally. So for any women that just had children and that are going through these baby blues or this postpartum depression, I just want to tell you, please talk to somebody, okay? Anybody. I know with the African American community, it feels like going to therapy or talking to somebody, like counseling. It feels like it's not accepted, which is absolutely crazy. But it feels like people try to make you feel crazy just because you talk to a therapist or a counselor. And I just want to tell you that that is absolute nonsense and it's not true. If you are going through something like that, you need to talk to somebody, because I am a blessed one to not have done anything to myself or acted on those crazy thoughts or, harm my children. But in all actuality, when you're going through that, you're not at a good place mentally. So it could happen. So please talk to somebody. Let them know how you're feeling, what you're experiencing. Let me tell you something. A lot of people will try to subscribe you pills, antidepressants, and stuff like that. You do not have to take medication. Just get it off of you. Get it off of you. Tell how you feel. Cry. It is okay to cry. I know you might be a strong woman, but it is okay to cry. It's not weakness. It's just getting that weight off of you. And please, if you don't have a prayer life or you don't have a relationship with God, get one. Because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. Probably. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows if I would have got my mental back? It was all God. And it really helps if you go out in nature. Take a walk. Go hiking. I love to hike. So I'm always the advocate of hiking. Go hiking. Go on the trail. Walk. Go out and get some fresh air. Even if you go outside for 5 minutes, go outside. Because that oneness with nature is absolutely perfect. Now, I'm not saying that humans haven't polluted it and it's not trash and dirt and all kind of stuff outside and, the air is polluted and all that. That's not what I'm saying. But it's the only thing that's not tainted. I'll say it like this. We are not perfect. We can be. I'm not saying that we cannot be perfect, but I'm saying we sin at times. So that makes us imperfect. Nature does not sin. It does what it's supposed to do. A tree grows because that's what it's supposed to do. A flower grows and it dies because that's what it's supposed to do. It rains outside. It's supposed to rain. Birds fly because that's what they were supposed to do. Nature is perfect. Us, on the other hand, we have a will. We could do right or we could do wrong. So nature is perfect. And when you go out there, it feels perfect. It feels amazing. And you're one with your creator. So you come back in the house or you come back to wherever you are and you feel better because you've come out of perfection. So my suggestion is, please get some fresh air, go get some nature, talk to somebody, and just get your mental together, because if you don't do it for you, nobody else will do it for you. And we don't want anything to happen to you, because you're important, you're special, and you should feel like you're important, and you should always know that you mean something. So I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to share my experiences with both of those, because I know there are people out there that are battling those things and that are going through that, and maybe they needed to hear it from somebody else in order to just be successful and just come out of those dark feelings successfully. They needed to hear somebody else talk about those experiences with those things. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will not keep you guys long. I don't have too many announcements. I will just say that, as I stated, I will be taking part in a poetry reading. I will not be in the actual poetry slam. I may if somebody cancels, but I'm just there just kind of as a backup and to read a poem to get the poetry slam started. So make sure you guys tune in for that. I will be posting it on a Soul Water Saturday when it comes. It's not until February 2nd. Also, Kingdom Creations website is still under construction, so I will keep you guys updated on when that will be up and running. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that I touched somebody with this video because I just want to share my own personal experiences. I love you all, and stay tuned for the next Soul Water Saturday. Have a blessed day, a prosperous day, a wonderful day, a successful day, an amazing day, and y'all keep on being prosperous with those businesses. I see a lot of businesses that are sprouting up. Don't get discouraged. Continue to push with those and do what you are doing, because if you continue to push it, it will be a success. As long as you see it, you believe it, you feel it, it's already real. Bye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Greetings. 3, 2, 1. It up. 3, 2, 1 shot. Leg girl. Straight leg 5, baby. Lift it up. Jump shot. Leg girl. 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. Jump shot. Leg girl. Straight leg 5, baby. Lift it up. Jump shot. Leg girl. 3, 2, 1. It up. Jump shot. Leg girl. Straight leg. On the side. Jump shot. Leg girl. 3, 2, 1. On the side. Jump shot. Leg girl. Straight leg 5, baby. On the side. Jump shot. Leg girl. Keep coming down. On the side. Jump shot. Leg girl. Good job. Now you hear me, please? Yeah.
You love me, so I'm feeling good. Say but not soft, you get that understood. God got me doing things I never would.